Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Monday, February 9th, 2015. In the Lynn-Body-Mind we have me, Ra, we have Asha and Pan. In the Jamie Body-Mind we have Glenn the Commander, we have Sam, and we have Luce. As always, our overarching intention is to do what is ours to do in all dimensions right now, to trigger the awakening right now. We have an idea that something significant may be about to occur, and we'll see whether or not that idea is correct. And with that, it begins. Pan here. It does seem as though it would be helpful for me to change bodies right now, and perhaps, Glenn, I simply join the three of you there for a period of time.
That feels true.
So I'll do that right now. Ra here. I see it's a document, and I see a pen, like a fancy pen with a feather, a quill pen, with some kind of old desk.
Yes, that's true.
Slanted surface, wood. It's a captain's desk. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a captain's desk. Like on a ship, maybe?
That could be.
And the paper is there, and the pen is there as if the captain walked away.
Yes, it's true. Honor, commitment. It feels military.
It's kind of like, let only Americans stand watch this night.
Yes.
Let only those who ... do this.
Yes. It feels good.
It feels good.
I don't feel anything off about it.
Ask to be shown who else has signed similar documents. This will give you some kind of idea of what it is you're signing, right?
Right. Well, Asha, Ra.
Yeah. I see those. There's definitely space on the wall for more of these documents to be hanging.
Yes, it's true. The perception is I'm ready to sign.
Check to see if there's anything else in the document.
Still feeling through it.
Asha says it's kind of like a decision to have children. It's a huge decision, and no matter what other people say to us before we have children, it's hard to imagine how much work it actually is.
Yes, that's true.
And that after we have a child, we discover two things. One is that it's much more work than we thought it was going to be.
That's true.
And the second thing we discover is that we love this child 1,000 times more than we would have thought was possible to love anyone.
That's true.
And that it is therefore worth it beyond the capacity of those words to describe.
That's true.
It's that kind of commitment. And she says many people drop kids, and she's using a very casual term for giving birth.
Yes,
without that level of commitment, but that isn't the same as actually being a parent for real.
Right, that's true.
She says many people are parents for pretend.
Yes.
Very few, as it turns out, are parents for real.
That's true.
Very few raise their children to be self-actualized adults.
Yes.
Very few raise their children to call them into their greatness. Very few tell their kids to measure up and give them the support they need in order to help them measure up.
That's true.
Live to your potential. And so this document is like that. Signing it will hold you to your potential.
That's true.
Both 1,000 times more fulfilling than you could imagine, and 1,000 times more difficult than you could imagine.
That's true.
She highly recommends it, but only if you're going to do it for real, not for pretend. Friends, if Glenn is about to sign this, it's kind of like the minister standing up in the wedding and say, "Speak now or forever hold your peace."
I, Pan, only feel full speed ahead. Yeah, Sam. Second. Luce. Yeah.
Ra and Asha, we speak together, saying, we will be proud to welcome you.
Full speed ahead.
Now it has the sense of like a little bridge or a broomstick to jump over or something, except you're jumping over it like it's a symbolic commitment, symbolic action that represents a huge commitment. Jumping over a broom in a frontier marriage,
Yes.
it looks like nothing, right? You're just jumping over a piece of wood.
Yes.
But it's a commitment that's being made.
Yes. That's
Signing
true.
this, it looks like nothing, but it's a commitment that's being made, and to recall that integrity counts for so much more than we think it does.
That's true.
Basically, we're saying, sign it when you mean it and not before. Probably you just signed it with that energy shift.
Yeah,
Is that what
that's my
happened?
perception.
All right. So now just kind of walk over that bridge or
Yeah.
to
little
where we
bridge.
are, like we're holding our
I
hands
see you.
out. And now we're showing you how to start to pull
Got it.
on your future chakra like this. Kind of pull on it. And what's going to happen is an emblem will kind of start to form.
I feel that.
And it will start to flicker into life. You start pulling it. Now what we're doing is we're taking our own essence and in effect donating ourselves to the all that is, taking that which we have worked so hard to create, our own essence,
Yes.
and giving it to Source to use to make the new beginning with.
Yeah.
And as this action, through this action of giving ourselves to Source to be used,
Yes.
you can start to feel in a toroidal,
Yes.
space-time bending way that the fabric of the old all that is now being drawn into us
Through the back. That's
through the
true.
back, and you can feel how it feels kind of nasty and gross.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it has not been tuned to the same vibrations, and
Yeah, that's true.
so to not see that as something gone wrong,
No.
but to understand that we are now becoming a transmutation portal
Yes, that's true.
for the benefit of Source, for the benefit of the all that is.
Yes, that's true.
It's both extraordinarily
Yes, that's
challenging
true.
and extremely fulfilling.
Feel good about the things being pulled out. They feel like gold. It's like mud comes in, gold comes out, but it's still thin.
Yes. So now here's something to be on the alert for.
Yes.
The moment what you're pulling out of you isn't pure gold, the
Yes.
moment there's a hint of mud,
Yes.
then we pause and start tuning, because we don't
Got
wish
it.
for the mud, the
No.
nastiness to be in the new beginning.
Got it. Pure gold only.
Pause right now and tune just a little bit, just in case. Tuning, 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 tuning. And what we're tuning is ourselves, in effect, right?
Right.
But ourselves now consist of much that was the old all that is pulverized, the most unhelpful aspects of the old all that is, right?
Yes.
Asha is pointing out something
Yes.
that she says she doesn't understand it, but she observes it.
Yes.
It's like we are transmutation devices. It's like a black box, quote unquote. Poop goes in, gold comes out, and she
Yeah.
says the miracle, the part, like that part she gets, but the
Yeah.
part she doesn't understand is how in the middle it looks like silvery, blue, white, sparkly,
Yes,
misty,
that's true.
tinkly. Like it doesn't seem like gold would come out.
No, it's true.
It seems like something else would
it's
come
like
out.
the poop goes into the fog
Yes.
and comes out gold.
Gold.
That's true.
One thing you might notice is that as you start to do this work, that as if impossibly your length is expanding.
Yes, that is true. I've noticed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem possible. How could that be
Longer.
after working for a month to get longer, right? How can that have happened?
Yeah.
I have no explanation for it, but it is something we have noticed. So we notice how right at first the gold that comes out is very thin, almost like gold plating, that
Yes,
kind of
that's
thinness.
true.
and that what we're actually going to be moving toward is something very thick and strong, a thick gold experience. Asha says, for now, we have to go through it left foot, right foot. So we first pull the fabric, and then we pause and tune, and then we pull the fabric and pause and tune. She says the goal is to be doing them both at once, but don't worry.
Yes.
We'll do it this way until the moment when it seems like we can do more. And she says if we get our shoulders into it and work our oneness chakras with our physical bodies, that it will go better. She says the oneness chakra collapses first.
That's true.
Because all that is so selfish. It's so selfish. Everything is just me, 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 me. Universe upon universe upon universe upon universe of selfishness. Really love it. Love it. And she's reminding you when you're working to get your channels up earlier in the program, and you needed to love the channels right around the oneness chakra so that they would go up. So a similar thing of just loving this oneness chakra, just really loving it.
Pull. It does kind of feel like rubbing the belly, patting the head, and tune.
And actually what we're trying to go for is something that feels like riding a unicycle and juggling. You can tell the difference in difficulty level, right?
Yes.
We begin with rubbing the belly and patting the head.
Yes.
We move into juggling while riding a unicycle.
That's true.
Leaning back might be water skiing. Tipping forward might be pulling the harness. You see?
That's true. I could be wrong.
So let's pull the harness too, because we also have this way of relating to our work as being dog sled dogs pulling a sled forward. So now if we're leaning forward, let's feel the harness on our shoulders, right? And intend to get it across that next mile marker at the right pace. If we're running the Iditarod, it's a 15-day race, give or take, right?
Yes, it's true.
We need to hit our pace and hold the pace. And now let's see if we can relate to this as sled dogs, just everyone. Can we all do that? And how can we do it better? What can we improve so that we are pulling together in harmony, getting some synergy going?
Synergy. Glenn, am feeling a little bit like Ra felt the other day, like my feet aren't fully on the ground. So,
but to hit the ground running is the goal. Or first get used to juggling, and then we'll add the unicycle.
I see.
Right now you're working on the juggling part. 3 balls in the air, right?
Yes.
Juggling is already difficult enough, and so you're just kind of running in the air, but then we'll need to actually get some traction, right?
That's true.
So that we're actually helping to pull the sled forward, right?
That's true.
That's kind of like adding the unicycle riding. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
So right now, work with the juggling. Waving our learner's permits. We're still learning. This is only the 3rd time, to our knowledge, that anyone has done this. And it's only the 2nd time that we've been around to observe, because Asha did it on her own without any of us helping.
That's true.
Now here comes the rain, the living waters. So to call up the grace, waving our learner's permit, and now intending to get past all the Rasputin hands, all the way to source. Can you see those grasping Rasputin hands? Go past them. No thank you. No thank you. Live streaming it up. This is what we're doing. We're live streaming up what we're doing, and we also can't help but notice all these grasping Rasputin hands, so we're just pointing that out. That doesn't seem right to us.
Sending up photos.
Right, sending up photos. We could, of course, be wrong, so please correct us. Correct us if we're wrong. But in the meantime, we want this to reach source. Do you remember when we were learning about the oneness chakra way back when? Back on the train with the Christ Presence Initiative. Do you remember all that?
Yes.
And that how solid it was closed for everyone, that there was it was like a concrete wall without even a dimple in it.
Yes.
So that's what we're drawing into us, right?
Got it. So just working theory is
Right.
always that it's concrete block.
Right. Well, solid poured
Right.
concrete, it's not block, it's a solid poured concrete
Right.
wall without even a dimple to show where the oneness chakra actually should be, right?
Ah, that's good.
Right. So an awful lot of attention there. So now tuning our own energy bodies, which are now interwoven with the all that is in a way. Just
Yeah.
notice, what's your perception? Is there any way for you to undo this without being just totally
No.
ripped to shreds?
Yeah, no.
It's done now. Tied to the mast of the soul plan, right? Here's the thing. If you are on a sailboat in a hurricane in the middle of the Atlantic,
There we go. It's starting
and
to
you
click in.
intend to get to the other side without being washed overboard, what would be a good idea?
Tie yourself to the mast.
Tie yourself to the
That's
mast.
starting to click in.
There you go.
If you intend to drown, don't tie yourself to the mast.
That's correct. If your goal is to be drowned, then don't tie yourself to the mast. If you wish to pretend that this isn't a hurricane that we're in, and that you can just lounge on the chairs in the sun, then lie on the lounge chairs in the sun, and you will be blown overboard, because we're going into a hurricane.
That's true.
You can put your head in the sand and pretend that this isn't a hurricane, and it won't make the hurricane go away.
That's true.
Now we're choosing to say, can't help but notice we're heading into a crisis. We're lashing ourselves to the masts of our soul plans.
That's true.
We recommend you do the same, but it's free will.
That's true.
And we have to tie ourselves. Nobody can tie us to the
Oh,
mast of
that's
our soul
true.
plan but us, because then it would be entrapment or something like that.
Right,
And that
yeah.
isn't how it works.
It's for me to do.
Yes,
That's
it's
true.
for us to do. It's our own self-care.
That's true.
And if we tie loose knots, well, then we will come loose in the storm, won't
That's
we?
true.
And if we don't want to tie any knots at all, we're the first ones overboard.
That's true.
Right? And Asha's saying, well, that's craziness. Just be the mast.
Ah.
That's a good point.
Ah.
I see that she actually is the mast.
I see that.
For herself. Like she's, like her mast
Right.
has her face and her little
Right.
arms and legs
Little arms
coming
and
out.
legs.
We were using the phrase "drinking the hemlock" the other day, and
Yeah.
she says it's after. She says after you drink a gallon or 2 or 10 of hemlock, this is what happens. That we have actually become the mast of
I
our
see.
soul plan. We have actually become the soul plan, and that we are it so solidly that there's no more question. But she says, but start with
Yes.
tying yourself to the mast.
Thank you.
And she says there are things about ropes that she has come to know, that when the water comes and makes them wet, that they swell, and then they don't come apart as easily.
Yes, that's true.
And that's a good, wonderful thing. She says it's support from spirit when we need it most. She asks if any of us have seen people just go crazy after they step over the line and do something great, and then they go insane right away.
Yes.
She says that's the phenomenon. Then they tie themselves to the mast. They feel like they're supposed to tie themselves to the mast for safety. They do it. Then the boat slams through a massive wave,
That's true.
a tsunami. Good news, they're still on the boat, still tied to the mast.
That's true.
And the ropes are wet and swollen, and the people forget instantly that they just made it through a tsunami safely, right?
That's true.
And start struggling against the swollen knots, K-N-O-T-S.
Yes.
She says it's craziness. You just made it through a tsunami. Tie more ropes. Say,
That's
wow,
true.
this works. Tie more ropes.
Wow, this works. Time more rope.
And we can all be the masts of our own soul plans.